A couple of things you might want to know about me. First off, I do math and science competitions. I debate. I play violin and piano. And when I grow up, I want to be a doctor. At some point this year, I read through like a 1,000-page biology book in 3 days, so my science pool team could win. And so I'm the quintessential Asian American. You want to know how I really know this? It took me 2 tries to get my driver's license, honest to God. So there you have it. But yeah. So, but the question is, like, do I really add diversity to a room? Am I multicultural because I'm so very Asian American? And I have to say no. When we start out, like as kids, we learn that regardless of a person's skin color or what language they speak, we have to respect them. And it's kind of ironic that at this point, diversity is defined as the skin color or the language someone speaks. If you Google diversity, you will literally get images of rainbows of people to imply, we have different colors, including green and blue and purple. Yeah. And I mean, whether we're like colleges or employment opportunities or communities, we're always judging by percentages. We're trying to fill quotas. I'm 16 at this point, and I've bubbled in Asian or Pacific Islander on like 1 million different standardized tests, on my Common App that applies to like dozens of colleges, and on my like applications for employment. They just really want to know that. And colleges, they look for it too. I mean, we hear about affirmative action all the time. If you end up on the wait list for Johns Hopkins, you get, yay, there we go. Okay, you get this information. We want to make sure there's diversity in our class in every way, shape, and form. It might be decided that we want students with a specific demographic breakdown. Remember, there's no guarantee that one will be admitted off the wait list just because they're a strong applicant. Now, that's just one example of the fact that we're searching out just ethnic diversity, and it might override other things. Now, this summer, I got to spend 6 weeks in China on a program with 17 other American students. And while we were there, we were mixed. We had like me and a couple other Chinese American students. We had 2 Indian American students, and the rest were white. And while we were there, you can see we kind of stuck out in comparison to other people. You might notice she's the one in the right hat. She's not Chinese. And so we were on the bus, and people, they're just shocked to see us there because the city we went to, we weren't in a tourist city like Shanghai or Beijing. We were just like some, relatively normal one, and they're almost racially uniform. So people on the bus would see them. They wouldn't even ask. They'd just pull out their cameras and be like, oh, what's this? Like, so there's that. And then one of my friends, actually her, she greeted someone who's basically like the equivalent of Chinese Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts in a plaza, and their group leader took a picture, and a few days later we saw her on the front page. So they were pretty impressed, and if they ever speak any Chinese, we're like, wow, you're so good. So while I was there, or any of the other Chinese American students, they thought I was a native, and I'm not good at Chinese right now, so I'm pretty American, so when I tried to speak anything, the reaction I got was more like, what's wrong with you? Why can't you speak normally? Or, I can't understand anyone. They're just really confused and really frustrated with me, so I was like, oh, shucks. So in contrast, you could tell they were really judging off of appearance. So while we were there, I did get to see real differences too. Like, the main thing that stuck out to me was just a different cultural mindset as well, though. Like, we got to see that the students there, they actually listen and obey their parents and teachers, in contrast to here. And also, they're like, we'll have the one-child policy, so all the Chinese students at our age right now have been kind of spoiled and sheltered as just the only kids. And the adults, they're at times just incredibly generous. They don't even expect compensation if they do you a favor. But also, they can just be so abrasive, like if they were here, by our standards, they'd be politically incorrect. And so while we were there, we did see things like chicken feet, that's a delicacy, yum yum, and like pig kidneys. I had pig brain, boiled, it's not too bad. And we also got to see other things. We saw like some nice tourist spots. We took Chinese language lessons. But what I really came away with was that after 6 weeks, I just appreciated their different mindset, their approach to the values and culture. So, so whether or not people are American or Chinese, they often assume that I know my heritage really well, but I don't. I mean, even that, like my family at home, that we eat Chinese food at night is just another superficiality. I'm still very clearly American. My parents can tell you that they don't see that kind of respect and obedience, sad to say. And they also can tell you, I'm born and raised Midwesterner. Like, I mean, never mind another country. If you put me in like a big city, I'd just die. So, so yeah. And so, I mean, if like racial origin isn't our basis for diversity, if we can't go by ethnicity, then what should we use? And so I just want to take a survey here. Who here considers themselves spiritual? Can you stand up? Yeah, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, let's get some exercise again. And who here is like a musician? Yeah. Yeah. Who here is the comedian for their friends? Yeah. Yeah. Who here is writes? Who here writes? Oh, no, okay. Yeah. Who's an activist or who's an athlete here? Yeah. So, I mean, I see, here, we're gathered in Des Moines. Okay, you guys can sit down now. We're gathered here in Des Moines. We all look kind of similar, I guess, to some degree, but we have so much diversity in just this one room. You can see the changes we get when, we have each different kind of interests come up. And really, when we're trying to build our groups together, that's the diversity we want, the kind that strengthens each other's weaknesses, that covers what one cannot do, or helps build to another degree what each person can. And so, I have to admit, I'm not white, I'm a minority. If we're giving bonuses in education or recruitments or admissions to minorities, I'm all there, make it stuff. But, I have to admit, we're not strengthening our communities by filling our quotas up. We're not, so if we continue to consider diversity as an ethnic concept, we're just going to continue to isolate ourselves by our preferences. And that's the exact thing we learned not to do as children. But when we don't have race in there as a factor, it becomes so very easy to isolate ourselves like that. For example, a classic story, we have Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, right? His red nose, people didn't like it. Depending on what version you watched, it was kind of a hassle to other people because it just glow. It wasn't fun. But when he gets up there and he joins the team, he's the leader. That strength, that weakness that was once a weakness, it becomes a strength for him. And the same way, you want to go find those people that you think might be weird or snotty or really obnoxious. Those are the people you may want to meet. Because someone who is really loud, they're probably not going to have tact at every single moment. But on the other hand, they have that courage, that boldness, they can add that pop to any group they join. Or someone who's a drama king, I've met them a lot. They can be really sentimental, but they also have that insight, they have that appreciation that others don't, and that's what inspires people. So the real point here is that diversity is not just the color of skin, it's our beliefs, it's our goals, and it's how we intend to accomplish them. And if we seek to find the benefits of diversity, if we're seeking a wider experience of life, we do have to find it beneath the shades of someone's skin. Thank you.